Hey guys, Tarke here with a very unique Patreon build review today. We have a Dex stacking Iron Commander Hierophant. Thank you, James. Very easy build to review. Hi Tarke. Decided to make a bit of a meme build as my end of league currency dump. Hence this wonderful Dex stacking Hierophant. I already own a fair amount of expensive pieces due to trying Hollow Palm early this league and thought I would try Dex stacking in the old school direction. Any changes you'd make to max that number of totems and damage would be appreciated. Thank you for having a look, and sorry. I appreciate that apology. Right. So, if you are like, what the hell is this build? He's a Hierophant, he gets all the good Dex stuff, he gets all the good totem stuff, use Iron Commander, more sentries, more Dex, he's got 1.3k Dex, so that is 6 additional sentries, and then the base is 3, and then he gets an additional one there, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus 6, 13. So he's got 13 sentries, each sentry doing 120k damage. So he's got well over 1 million. Is his configuration set up? Is his configuration set up correctly? Cool. So before we look at the tree and stuff, I can already see just like some very minor points I would change, which would be a DPS increase. Let's look at the skills and then the items. So he's got Proj Weak, Culling Strike, Curse on Hit, GMP, Frenzy Chain. So he's just like spamming his Frenzy, cursing everything, culls everything. Yep, seems good. Peril Device, Hatred. Yep. Dash Second Wind, yes. Siege Ballista, LE damage, Cold Pen, Hypothermia, added cold, crit strikes. Yeah, I would keep the crit strikes, his base crit's only 45%. He's got a Precision and a Frost Bomb. He's got 18% mana unreserved. Obviously, level up the Precision as much as you feel comfortable with, but so far, yes. Iron Commander. If you want to stack this up, you're kind of stuck using that bow, so fair enough. Hero's Demise gives him flat cold per dex, gives him attack speed, yep, gives him some dex as well because it has all attributes. Fractal Thoughts, increased damage per dex, increased dex if strength is higher than int, if strength is higher than int. Crit multi if dex is higher than int, which is, so, yeah. Also gives him 2 life per 10 dex, so he's getting a little chunk of life from there as well, so it's decent. He's got Wild Wrap for percent dex, attack speed, and then damage per dex. Then he's got a little bit of dex with some percent dex, some life, and some fizz converted to cold, so pretty solid. Gurakan's Flights, because they give you life per dex, so this is a big chunk of life. And then he's using Astromentis, because of course he's using an Astromentis. Now, a flat dex, percent attributes dex bullshit Ami is better than Astromentis. It's hard to craft, it would be slightly better. Terrible ring. Doesn't even have dex. So yeah, this ring is letting you down. So yeah, get a better ring. And this ring. Okay, so both of your rings are letting you down. So you want to replace both of your rings. Cyclopean Coil, because it gives a bunch of dex. And it's corrupted for... Oh, shame you're missing out on 3% increased attributes, but it's got 5% increased dex, so that's 2% net gain. But it's a real shame that it wasn't divine to be a bit better. So you're missing out on like little increases, but mainly be like replace your 2 rings. And now let's look at the cluster jewels. This cluster jewel confuses me. So we'll redo this. So you're getting Cold to the Core, which by itself is a pretty big DPS increase. That's why you're going for cold ones, and you're doing mostly cold damage. But this could just be a better base large jewel. So we can recraft this large jewel and save some points. You've got Snaring Spirits, so when you drop a totem, it hinders. And then you've got Super Sentry for increased totems. And then you've got Cold to the Core, Super Sentries. You could go for Cold to the Core here as well for more damage. But I honestly, I think having the Snaring Spirits is quite nice. Having that all extra slow. But then again, saying that your build chain chills, you can stack hinders and chills. I quite like it. It's a little bit of extra defense. Maybe you'd be better off just going for another one of the Cold to the Cores. Yeah, maybe that would be the better way of doing it. Also, because it doesn't give you a good endpoint, you've then like you haven't got a jewel. You want a jewel there, so let's remake that. So that is that's the Megalomaniac. Oh, that's why. Right, okay. Makes sense. I was confused. Like, wait, hang on. Yeah, the Megalomaniac. Okay, that makes sense. So in theory, a better Megalomaniac would be ideal, but sure. Right, so when it comes to the tree, Retribution is a very good point because it gives you attack speed and it gives you damage. So this is a 5.6 DPS point. You'd want that. That would be more damage than that, for example. So you could swap that round and that would be a gain. Out of interest, you would lose a lot of damage going Elliot. Okay. Right. I want to try and fit more life into the build. Here you've got a Brutal Restraint. You don't need the int, so you should change that point for the dex. Slight DPS increase. And also, that extra bit of dex pushes you over the threshold, so that gives you another totem. So that was definitely worth doing. Okay. That you're taking because you might need it to sustain your frenzy, and it'll probably give you some dex or whatever based on whatever that Brutal Restraint is. So we've already given you an extra totem, so we've already improved the build. So by adding that point and swapping that round, the build is better than when he sent it to me, so my job is done. End of review. But let's remake his large cluster jaw. So it is a cold cluster jaw. The mana's got % dex on it. Nice. Cold damage. As few points as possible. And I've already forgotten what's it called. Cold to the core. So cold to the core is the important one, because it gives the damage by dex. And let's see what else you could go for. So go for Blanketed Snow, 10% damage pen, very good. Freeze, don't need that. Cold-Blooded Killer, you don't need that. Corrosive Elements, don't need that. Deep Chill, you don't need that. Don't need that. Probably going for the pen one, Blanketed Snow. If you need the res, but I like Blanketed Snow. Some sort of light damage extra cold. Don't need that. Temperature charging and power charge when you shock a chilled enemy. If you could get a way of guaranteeing the shock, maybe that would be the way of doing it, as a nice way of generating power charges. Could maybe be interesting. Yeah, I'll go for Blanketed Snow. And then the Disorienting is kind of nice for the blind. Otherwise, I just wouldn't bother anything. What would we go for? And I'd go for... Whoops. I'd get rid of Disorienting Display. There's a way that you can always have it so these are at the front and that's at the back, but it's always a fiddle to do. I can never remember what the rule is on that. But even so, even if you did that, that would be worth doing it. Some combinations always have them there at the back. Fair enough. But yeah, it'd be 7.9. So 4.6 per point. So not the best, not the worst. But even so, if you just swap to something like this, so you got cold to the core, then the chance of when enemies are using any skill, which means that your turn would be spam blinding enemies. That would be an improvement of your old setup, and it'd be 2 less points. So you could just go for that, but I think getting the 10 pen would be worth, to be honest. Yeah, we dropped that point because it just wasn't worth. And that is 7.2 compared to that, which is 9.5. So you could go for that, which would be a DPS increase over that setup. I just want to fit life in, you know, because the life is so low. So how can we ump up the life a bit? Kind of tempted to go for finesse and maybe like ranger start. This is very similar damage. I made an Ellie hit champion, and this was very similar damage. Oh wait, it's a fizz skill. It's not an elemental skill, isn't it? My bad. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, in that case, don't have disorienting display. Have something else. Go for. So that swap them around. Go for that, then your totems have leech, and it's still DPS increase. But yeah, what I was saying is this is very similar damage. I made an Ellie hit champion, and you have like 8 more totems than I did, so yeah. Those are really all your nearby life nodes. You kind of, there's not really much you can do here. You could potentially, instead of routing this way, you could potentially route along this way and then convert the nodes from strength to dex. I mean, really, I think what you would do is you would do the exact same build, just not as a Hierophant. And then maybe that would be the way. Because you would then save all of these points. But as Hierophant, you're still gaining a lot of nice stuff. Is Divine Guidance really the best 2 points? I think you'd probably be better off going for Sign of Purpose. Because that way, enemies take 10% increased damage to each brand you attach to them. So you could do like Brand Curse on hit, maybe. And maybe that would be your single target. Like, you just throw, like, a brand. Or just, like, you just throw a brand on the enemy for that. Maybe, I think I'd probably go for that. And just add a storm brand. It's not much, but, you know, it's something. I feel like the 10% mom would actually screw you over a little bit. Like, I feel like every now and again, you'd end up doom, and you'd be like, I can't put any more totems down. Uh-oh. So I think you probably would just go for this. Otherwise, maybe even just go for Illuminated Devotion and randomly gain a bit of AoE. I don't know. It's kind of awkward. Thinking. I mean, what if you just went... Does it have to be Siege Ballista? Yeah, it has to be Siege Ballista. You can't do other ballista skills. There's not really much you can do here, sadly. It's the hollow palm problem. You'd want to swap into the multi. You want to go that way around. Yeah. the hollow palm problem where you just can't really do anything. Let's cut these points back down to what it was. That's only 5 true. So we add an extra point there. The life is the main thing. You want the life to be higher. Maybe this Megalomaniac. I think maybe you drop the Megalomaniac and just go for another normal medium jewel. And then fit in a life jewel. Oh, or a split personality. So yeah, at one point you played around with doing that. Interesting. See, he's messed around with this build quite a bit. It's awkward. It's definitely awkward is the word I'd use. How did we lose 2 decks? Because we were over the threshold. I mean, you can improve your rings, but we lost 2 decks somehow. How did I lose 2 decks? What did I change? Because we were over 1.4k. It was like that, and then I did that. I changed one of the items? No. I dig the build a lot. So if you went champion instead, what are you losing? You'd gain fortify, which is nice. You'd gain the accuracy, which would be nice. But you have a 100% hit chance anyway because you've got so much deck, so that doesn't matter. You'd lose +2 totems. You'd lose the ramping. The ramping damage is so strong. And you'd also lose the nice regen. You'd also lose the more damage per totem. Yeah, no, fair enough. You also have the totem placement seed, which when you have to place so many totems is very important. And you're getting power charge generation from this, and you're getting the pen. Yeah, so you don't need the... Yeah. No, this is the way. This is the way. I mean, the main thing, really, the main thing I can recommend is changing your boot enchant to pen or crit. The problem with the crit, if you haven't crit recently, is you'll be critting with your frenzy setup. So go for the pen instead. That'll be a big dipper increase. What's the crit chance of his frenzy? Uh... 27, 40, yeah, it's too... It would break the crit boots too much, sadly. You'd want to use the boots, that'd be really nice. 120% crit would be super juicy. You can bless it to be slightly better. Yeah. Right. Start off. Bless your bow. That's a big DPS increase. And you're looking for as much attack. You want to bless for 50% crit chance, and you want as much attack as possible. The flat fizz is kind of whatever. Doesn't really matter that much because you got so much percent. If you get one which also had placement speed or totem life, great. But the main thing you're looking for is the crit chance and the attack speed. Those are the main things. If I had placement speed, great. If you do that, then you gain a nice, nice chunk of crit. Nice chunk of crit. Okay, so do that. So yeah, better base bow, better rings. Your rings are the main things letting you down. If you had proper dex rings, you could push. Like, okay, let's just make some rings. Okay. Let's just say there are a pair of corals because you've got like no flat life. Bump. Okay. This needs to be hunter. So you had one with all attributes. You can craft, decks and thingy as well. So you had like, because the main thing you're looking for is the tier 1 decks. That, say crafted life. Let's just say crafted 50 life. And then dex and strength, dex and int. And then if you, ideally you'd then also have increase summon times with attacks. That'd be like the big. So yeah, what you're looking for, you can use essences to force tier 1 decks. But yeah, so use essences, spam essences, and you're looking for tier 1 decks and wed. Then you could just like multi-mod it, potentially just multi-mod life and then strengthen decks if you got really desperate, or if it hit life, great. But like, you know, maybe don't craft the strengthened decks, maybe that's too cheesy, crafting that on there. But I don't think it should be, because you said you're like, this is your end of league, you're pumping the money, right? So if you're going to do the end of league pumping the muns, then fuck it, right? Yeah. And then let's put it on a better base. We're going to do it like that. So let's say vermilions instead of corals. Dex, craft, dex, strength. Oh, do you not do it as? Yeah, get a new Cyclopean coil, catalyze it up, and then go for the corrupts. Because that would make, yeah, good catch. Because just a base Cyclopean coil without the corrupts, it's being catalyzed, will be better. Yeah. Not by much, but you'll gain. So, yeah. So now you're at 1.7. If you had all attributes as well on these, you could then push to 1.8. You'd want to push it to 1.8. Better Ami could do it. You didn't have ailment immunity, so you could also anoint a dex node. You could also anoint Shaman's Dominion, which would be huge. Yeah, anoint that. Yeah, yeah. Huge DPS increase, there we go. I thought something really obvious was missing. That was, yeah. Sorry, it should have taken me that long to realize that. So, if you were to make those changes, yes, we, like, crafted a pretty god-tier set of rings. Not even, but we crafted a good pair of rings. You would nearly double your deeps. And you'd gain an extra totem. 2 extra totems, because your base tree was just under 1.4k. And you gain another one at 1.4, and you gain a second at 1.6. Getting 1.8 is realistic, but maybe you might need to stretch your build too thin to do it. If we drop that Megalomaniac for the... that one. You're 2 off with a split personality? That's a shame. Nice res, mate. We can get res. We can get res. You could take Cloth and Chain. You could spam Divine Brute or Restraint until we got a good Cloth and Chain, so that it was giving him Dex. You could get res there. He could get res on his jewels, because his jewels aren't that great. That's a brawn. He can get res on... It's weird that split personalities are set, unique to one. I've always found that odd. Okay, maybe just drop these rings then. Go back to his old rings. But even with, like, his old rings, he still gained damage, and he still gained an extra thingy. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the one. So yeah, I don't even know what we changed in the end. I cut these points. He took Holy Dominion. Maybe he does need the res. Maybe he needs to put that back in. But like, if you need the res, put it back in. But I mean, you're using a fucking iron ring with grace effect. You're not using grace, so it's like, you know. And it only had baby wed on it. Like, neither of your rings were good. You could have gone for better rings, so it's fine. Like, you could have, you know, blessed up the lightning res for an extra 6. I like it though. I dig it. It's cool. It's cool. Maybe you do Side of Purpose instead of Divine Guidance though, because that will screw you. Like, this isn't helping you. So screw that. Take that. Drop a brand. You could have, like, Brand Cull. You could even have Cast an Unmistaken Brand. Brand Blind. Yeah, just, yeah. I don't know. You had a bunch of open sockets. Shove a brand in there somewhere. I think you've defeated me with this one. I like the idea, James. I'm very curious to see how it goes for you. I would like to have updates. All these deck stacking builds, resists are consistently a problem. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm done. I'm Tarke. Tell me how to make this build have resists, by the way. Have a good day. Bye-bye.